Greetings, YouTube. As I log into the game to set the backdrop for this video, it's a really unique video. So I kind of wanted to, start out the premise of just logging in the game, talking about the standard boss fights we've seen in this game. And I'm somebody, I remember when I visited New York City Comic Con for the first and sadly only time because Kabam wasn't back there for the last few years. And then, of course, we didn't have it for a few years, too, with the pandemic. But I remember how much Kabam talked about how much they cared about the overall story that was going on in this game. And there were several people who were so into it that they were just nodding their heads and they were drinking the Kool-Aid. And I was very impressed that they knew the story because I'm the kind of person that skips all the dialogue. And it's sad, right? I think about this now. I think there are animators and writers who spent countless hours on this, and I just want to get to the next fight. I just want to get the rewards. I just want to do the fights and then get out of there. And that's probably a bad character trait for me to have playing this game, but at least I'm honest about it. But there are people who care so much about the direction of the story that they're willing to even write fan fiction to preview the next boss fight or next Act 8 potential encounter. Now, that's not to say it's going to happen. It won't, most likely. But it's still worth knowing that there's 3 chapters left, right? And there could be many bosses within those chapters. In fact, we know there will be. So there's a summoner that reached out to me this past week, and I'm just going to share his exact line comments. Because I thought about putting them in an email, and I thought, no, it's actually more impressive to me to just show you the correspondence. So I'm going to darken this real quick. This is a guy, I just wanted him to develop this further. It's Keil, Keil 238. He sent me this message. He said, I have a boss idea for the Titan of Time, Kronos. His main mechanic would be called Time Shift, and it's where his abilities are determined by the attacker's year tag. So in 2014, Old is Gold. Every time you parry twice within a 5-second timer, he gains a Golden Guard passive, granting plus 1,000 armor, plus 10% physical and energy resistances, and plus 500 block proficiency. I don't know the other years just yet. So I thought this was a really good start to an idea. And so instead of, doing a video on that information, I said, maybe you can develop this further. And he said, yeah. And I will say, this is already some impressive thoughts, But then he said this. So again, the boss idea of Time, Kronos. His main mechanic would be called Time Shift. 2015, we read 2014. Every time of asking, or the second time of asking, once every 10 seconds, 5% of your health is siphoned to Kronos. Every time this effect activates, the potency is increased by 5%. Special intercepts reset the timer. So, of course, like a lot of in-game boss fights, there are kind of tricky things you've got to do to down the boss. 2016, repetition is key. During Kronos' special attacks, he places a passive root, oh god, and petrify on the attacker. The potency of the petrify is 120%. 2017, new beginnings. When Kronos is brought below the threshold of a bar of power, he instantly gains 2% of missing health. Gains immunity to ability accuracy reduction as well. 2018, just as I am remembered, when the attacker uses a special attack, a repeat offense effect is placed on them for 5 seconds. This effect detonates for 30% of the attacker's health if it expires. Intercept to remove this effect. 2019, my time to shine. Every time the attacker stuns Kronos, he gains stun immunity for 6 seconds. Stun effects that would be triggered in this span are reflected onto the attacker. 2020, enough waiting. After 60 seconds, a degen passive is placed on the attacker, dealing 100% of their health over 6 seconds. That's kind of scary. 2021, almost over with. Kronos gains plus 1,000 attack, critical damage, and critical hit rating every 15 seconds. Heavy intercepting Kronos refreshes the timer. And then Armageddon. Hitting Kronos using the same type of special twice in a row grants him plus 250 physical and energy resistance hitting into his block. Using the same type of attack twice in a row places a resistance down passive on him, decreasing his physical and energy resistance by 250 these passives cannot bring Chronos below starting resistance. And then 2023, because why not talk about this year? End of days, every 15 seconds, Chronos gains a passive power gain, granting 66% power over 3 seconds. Once this passive ends, he gains an indefinite Fury buff, granting plus 5% of base attack. Knocking Chronos down resets the 15-second timer. You know what's work was put into that? I mean, we don't want to cheapen that by only reading some of it. Keel238, I'm always impressed by members of the community's thought process on things. And so I am honored that this is something that I could feature on my channel. And thank you for the hard work and time that you put into it. What do you think about this potential boss fight against Chronos? Do you like the idea? Is there anything you would tweak or add on? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching.